Okay, so we're back, and after we move through those tables, we're going to move into a different part, right? And that's something that we're talking a little bit more about this association principle. So when you think about this, right, we're looking to see if there is a pattern, right, or influence between an outcome and explanatory variable. So this is all very useful. So let's take a look at maybe like an example, right? So one way that we do this, right, is that we need to figure out that we're usually interested in positive and then negative. We can use this for a lot of different things, but we'll just use it similarly. So one way that we can look at this, right, is through a scatter plot. So I think this should all look familiar. Shouldn't be anything new. So if we drew one here, and we have this, and we also drew one here, and this. So this, in case you forgot, is the x. This is the y. Same here. This is y. This is x, right? This is doing a little different. So we'll use this color. And so what we find here is we have all these little data points, right? And over here we have these data points, right? So based off of this, right, we would suspect that this is a positive one. Why? Because as x goes up, so as we move further along here, y goes up. We can also see a little trending line, right? We can kind of guess and say, oh, this is going upward, so this is going to be the positive. And then on this one, as x goes up, we see that y values are lower, it's decreasing. We draw the little line here to help illustrate this, and this is a negative relationship, right? So all stuff that you guys know before, and so hopefully just seems like a refresher. All right, so back to our color here. So another thing to think about, right, is that we're also interested in correlations. And this does a few things for us, right? It's going to tell us the strength of a linear relationship, so in a straight line. So what this number does, and provides context for a relationship, which I'll just summarize there, right? So we summarize this. We know that these are bounded between -1 and 1, always. Always. If you have a correlation value of like 1.2 or -1.5, something is wrong, right? So we know that a positive value equals a positive relationship. A negative val is going to equal a negative relationship. So this is usually symbolized by the letter R, right? And that's something really important to know is that, we oftentimes, right, we've seen math, right, we see X, A, B, or whatever. It's important to know that this is just a symbol to represent the strength of a correlation, right? A few other little factoids, right? So if a value of R is near 0, this is like no relationship. And also I will refer you to the course notes for degrees of relationship. So I encourage you to look at that because it has some useful information to going on, right? So we'll kind of put that here. That has those other properties. I encourage you to look at it. In the text, it tells you, how you might go about calculating a correlation value, and we're really not going to test you over that because it's really convoluted, right? So let's just, we'll put that aside because we're not going to ask you to do that, right? But something that we should always know when we're looking at correlations, right, is to plot the data to examine a relationship. So we'll end this here, and I'll see you guys in the next